Hello and welcome, dear listeners. Today, we're diving into a timeless and highly influential book in personal development and success, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Covey, with decades of experience in leadership, management, and personal growth, has shared principles that have the power to transform both our personal and professional lives. In this podcast, we'll explore the 7 habits that highly effective people practice every day. From taking responsibility and managing time effectively to building meaningful relationships and committing to continuous growth. Habit 1. Be proactive. Covey explains that being proactive means recognizing that your behavior is a product of your decisions, not your conditions. Instead of reacting automatically to external events or emotions, proactive people choose their responses based on values, principles, and thoughtful consideration. Covey distinguishes between two kinds of people: reactive people, who are heavily influenced by their environment, circumstances, moods, and other people's actions. They often blame and wait for external change. Proactive people, who act based on their ability to choose. They focus on what they can control rather than what they cannot. A key concept is the circle of concern versus the circle of influence. The circle of concern contains all the things you worry about, but cannot directly control. The circle of influence contains things you can directly affect through your actions. Proactive people invest their energy in the circle of influence, causing it to grow. Reactive people spend their energy in the circle of concern, which leads to negativity and shrinking influence. Covey emphasizes that proactivity is rooted in self-awareness, imagination, conscience, and independent will, the uniquely human capacities that allow us to pause and choose how to respond. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Effective living begins with having a clear vision of your destination. Covey explains that all things are created twice: mental creation, the vision, plan, or blueprint; physical creation, the actual actions and results that follow. If you don't consciously develop the first creation, you let outside forces, other people's expectations, habits, and circumstances, shape your life by default. Covey encourages individuals to define their personal mission by identifying deeply held values and principles. Knowing what matters most helps guide decisions, set priorities, and ensure that daily actions align with long-term goals. A major tool in this habit is the personal mission statement, which serves as a compass for your life. It clarifies what you want to be, character, what you want to do, achievements, and the values on which both are based. This mission anchors your actions and helps you stay focused even in uncertainty or pressure. Habit 3. Put first things. First, Habit 3 builds on Habit 1, be proactive, and Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. It focuses on managing your time and priorities effectively by concentrating on what is most important rather than what is merely urgent. Covey introduces the time management matrix, which categorizes tasks into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, urgent and important, crises, pressing problems, deadlines. Quadrant 2, not urgent but important, planning, relationship building, personal growth, goal setting. Quadrant 3, urgent but not important, interruptions, certain emails, minor issues that feel urgent but do not contribute to long-term goals. Quadrant 4, not urgent and not important, time wasters such as excessive TV or trivial activities. Effective people focus on Quadrant 2 activities, those that are important but not urgent, because these prevent crises and lead to meaningful long-term results. Reactive individuals, on the other hand, get trapped in quadrants 1 and 3, constantly responding to urgency while neglecting their true priorities. Habit 3 emphasizes the principle of discipline, doing what is important even when it is not urgent. This requires planning, delegation, and the ability to say no to distractions and non-essential tasks. Habit 4, Think Win-Win. Covey explains that in interactions with others, the most successful and lasting agreements come from a win-win mentality, in which all parties feel satisfied with the outcome. Win-win mindset seeks mutual benefit rather than competition or compromise, operates on the belief that there is enough success and opportunity for everyone, requires integrity, maturity, and an abundance mindset. Key practices include seeing the problem from others' perspectives, identifying shared goals, agreeing on principles that lead to mutually acceptable solutions, building trust through open communication and cooperation. Habit 4 is a cornerstone of interpersonal leadership. It shows that effective influence and long-term success arise from relationships where everyone benefits, rather than from winning at someone else's expense. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Covey emphasizes that most people listen with the intent to reply, not to understand, which leads to misunderstandings and conflict. This habit focuses on listening with the goal of truly understanding the other person's perspective and feelings. It requires setting aside your own agenda, judgments, and assumptions. Just as a doctor diagnoses before prescribing treatment, we must fully understand others before offering solutions or advice. Listening first builds trust and opens the door to real influence. Once people feel genuinely understood, they become more open to your ideas. This principle fosters cooperation, problem solving, and lasting relationships. Empathic communication strengthens interpersonal relationships and collaboration. Habit 5 is essential for influence, negotiation, and conflict resolution because it prioritizes understanding before persuasion. Ultimately, effective communication starts with empathy. By seeking to understand first, you create trust, openness, and a foundation for mutually beneficial solutions. Habit 6. Synergize. Principles of creative cooperation. Habit 6 focuses on leveraging the strengths of multiple people to create outcomes greater than the sum of individual efforts. Covey emphasizes that true synergy is about collaborative creativity, where differences are celebrated rather than simply tolerated. Synergy occurs when two or more people work together to produce results that neither could achieve alone. It is not compromise or consensus. It is creative collaboration that produces win-win solutions. Differences in perspectives, skills, and experiences are opportunities rather than obstacles. Synergy requires open-mindedness, respect, and trust. Key practices include seeking first to understand others' viewpoints, building on strengths rather than focusing on weaknesses, encouraging experimentation and innovation, combining insights to generate solutions that are better than any individual idea. Stages of synergy: acceptance, appreciating differences without judgment; celebration, valuing differences as opportunities for creativity; creative cooperation, working together to achieve breakthroughs and superior results. Synergy fosters teamwork, innovation, and effective problem solving. It transforms conflicts into opportunities and produces outcomes that satisfy all parties involved. Ultimately, collaborative creativity is more powerful than individual effort By valuing differences and working together constructively, we can achieve results beyond what any single person could accomplish. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. Principles of balanced self-renewal. Habit 7 focuses on continuous self-improvement and renewal across 4 key dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. Covey emphasizes that personal effectiveness requires regular care and growth in all areas of life. Just as a dull saw is ineffective, a person who neglects self-renewal loses effectiveness. Regular sharpening ensures sustainable success and health. 4 dimensions of renewal: physical, exercise, nutrition, rest, and stress management. Mental, reading, learning, writing, and expanding knowledge. Emotional, social, building meaningful relationships, empathy, service, and emotional intelligence. Spiritual, meditation, reflection, clarifying values, and connecting with principles that provide purpose. Renewal in all areas is interconnected. Neglecting one dimension can weaken overall effectiveness. Regular renewal increases your capacity to live with purpose, handle challenges, and positively influence others. Practical steps: schedule time for physical exercise and rest. Dedicate time to learning and mental growth. Invest in relationships and meaningful social interactions. Engage in spiritual practices aligned with your values and mission. Long-term effectiveness depends on self-care and continuous growth. By sharpening the saw in all 4 dimensions, you maintain the energy, perspective, and balance needed to achieve personal and professional success. Thanks for listening. Remember, big changes start with small steps. Focus on one habit at a time and watch your life transform. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Stay proactive, stay focused, and keep growing.